Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another review of The Shy, Season 4, Episode 8, entitled Love Jones. But before I get into this, I just want to apologize for not posting a review for last week. I did record it. However, when I went to go listen to the playback for editing, it did not record the vocals. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it happened. And I just wasn't in the mood to upload another one. So I do apologize about that. But let's get into this one. Now, me personally, Love Jones is my favorite movie ever. It's my favorite movie of all time. I literally can watch it over and over and over again. I know it word for word. It's just that movie for me. So it made my heart smile that Lena and the rest of the crew paid homage to the movie. From the black and white opening to the music, the scenery, and narratives of the storylines, everything was on point to me. Even the specific scenes that they used throughout this episode. Um, the episode opens up with Emmett catching Love Jones on TV. So he texts Keisha, letting her know that their movie was on. And I absolutely love the writers for having Emmett and Keisha to have this bond, especially with everything they have gone through as friends, as ex-lovers, and whatever else they had going on, especially after everything went on with Keisha. I really enjoy how they have developed and maintained their friendship. And so I guess because she didn't respond fast enough, he ended up calling her because he wanted to make sure she was watching, because their favorite scene was about to come on, which is where Darius Love Hall, shows up at Nina's place with the Osley Brothers CD that she was looking for. So Emmett texts Tiff to find out where the hell she was. She calls him back, but when she calls him back, baby girl is drunk, and on top of that, she's out with Dante. Now let's deal with this for a moment, because I know people been getting on my. I'm gonna go more in detail later, but you know what I'm saying. This is why I would never agree to open marriage. In my eyes, open marriage does not exist, because what's the point of being married if you're going to venture out with other people? Now, to each his own, because for some couples that works for them, but as for me and my household, that is not something that we will be partaking in. But as it pertains to Tiff and Dante, this is going far beyond just someone she's having sex with on the side. It appears that she's literally dating this man. They're out on the town, laughing, having a good old ass time. And I'm like, you married and you have a child. Where y'all baby at? And so it is way deeper than sex. It is much deeper than sex at this point, clearly. So she tells Emmett that she'll be home in the morning, and Emmett wasn't having it like any other normal husband. He was like, nah, you gonna bring your ass home tonight. And at this point, Dante was being hella disrespectful. He was yelling all in the phone, just ridiculous. And so Emmett was like, F both of y'all, and he hung up. So Tiffany was like, he hung up on me? And Dante basically was like, well, if I was him, I would have hung up on your ass too. So she shows up the next morning. Emmett now cooked this wonderful breakfast, and he's being all nice. He's better than me, because that wouldn't have happened. I just don't even see that in my life. I probably would have tried to poison him or something. But he, tells her to go wash the intoxication off of her, and what he really wanted to say, go wash that nigga off you. And I'm just like, what is this? What's going on right now? I have no idea. So, you could tell Emmett is not happy, but I guess he's in a place of thinking, like, what else can he do? So he asked to speak to, I get to that, and I get to that part later. So he asked Papa for relationship advice, but I'll get into that. But we gonna skip, and we gonna get into Trig. So he asked a man, or he reveals to Trig what's going on in his household. So basically, Trig told him, well, you have home court advantage. She's your girl. You know everything there is to know about her, so spoil her with your heart. And so, which I thought that was great advice. So Emmett he takes the advice, and he pretends to be Darius Love Hall. And, it's the scene where he goes to Nina's house, or, go back to his house and pretend he has the Osley Brothers CD. And so Tiff was like, oh, are we doing Love Jones? And so I thought it was a really cute moment. So they went to a comedy show. The comedian was lame as hell, so I'm not even going to spend too much time on him, because it don't make no sense. So they go dancing, and they are literally having a good time. And so he takes her back to the place where they initially met. And he told her that he didn't want to have an open marriage anymore. Tiff was not happy. You could tell on her face, she was like, nigga, what? Nigga, who? Like, she didn't want that. It was very evident that she did not want that. And so she was basically saying, like, she loves their arrangement. She doesn't want to change it. And so, she was saying she likes to have a little variety in her life. And Emmett was like, well, I can do that. I can, change it up in the bedroom. We could role play, whatever. But we all know when she said variety, she meant Dante's ass. Because that's the only man who she's sleeping with. That's what she meant. And so I know people been coming for Tiff. But I do understand where she's coming from. And I think sometimes when we begin to truly love a character or like a character more than we like the other, we give them passes, or we don't really deal with their bullshit like we do everybody else's. But for me, I love everybody on the show. I don't have any favorites, so everybody get it. Even if I did have a favorite, I would be unbiased toward that person too. And so with Tiffany, I feel like when she had made the statement that she didn't have to worry about him cheating on her all the time. Like, she enjoyed not having that to be a thought process of hers. And he was like, I promise if we close our marriage, I would never cheat on you again. And she says, I've heard that before, Emmett. And for me, when I watched it, that sounded like that came from a place of hurt. Because I know that Emmett may be on his grown man now and he may be doing the right things now, but it does not negate anything that he's done before. In my personal opinion, and I could be wrong, I believe he only married or proposed to Tiff out of guilt or out of fear that she would find out about him and Dom. I don't even think he wanted to get married. I think he did it, as a last resort. That's really what I think he did. And then you're making love to your wife and you so in your head and you're so guilt-ridden that you told her you had sex with someone. Why are you making love to her? The ultimate insult. You know what I'm saying? So I understand how people feel, how they feel about Tiff, but it's like, let's not negate Emmett either and the things that he's done. And I think, sometimes that happens. A man will get to a point after dog the woman out, then you'll get to a point that you want to be serious and then expect her to be okay and fall in line with it when that's not what she wants at the moment. So I do find it interesting looking at the comments, how some people feel like, nah, Tiff for the streets. Tiff a hoe, Tiff this, Tiff that. But Tiff wasn't giving that same energy when she was still being faithful to her man who was cheating. And even though I know that Emmett did not cheat on her while he was married, but I do feel like his cheating on her, his infidelity had a lot to do with the reason that he proposed to her anyway. So I understand where she's coming from. Now, I think Tiff need to be honest, because she's not being honest about Dante. This is so far beyond just having an open marriage. This is somebody who you're feeling. This is somebody who you clearly enjoy spending time with away from your husband. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. I really do hope they can work it out. I don't know, because they pretty deep in some stuff. This is why you don't invite other people into your bedroom and stuff like that, because this is the kind of shit that happens. So let's go to Keisha. I'm going to move through these things. I ain't going to spend too much time on the scenes. Everything was just really beautiful. I think I don't know if this was considered like a special episode, but I just think everything was done beautifully. I just want Keisha to be happy. I just want Keisha to experience nothing but happiness for the remainder of the series, because baby girl has been through so much, and I cannot take seeing Keisha go through anything else that does not benefit her, that does not uplift her, because let me tell you, last season, my nerves were jacked. Okay? My nerves were jacked. I think all of us have a feeling that, even though this is a fictional character, it's like we want to protect her peace. We want to protect her happiness, because we were all able to see what that man put her through and the things that he did to her and the life-lasting effects that Keisha will forever have to deal with. And so, we meet Christian, and Christian seems like the nice little boy, and I don't see the bad vibes that some people are saying they're getting from him. I think he's a genuinely nice person. And I also think that he is not the norm for Keisha. I don't think Keisha has ever dated someone. I don't like the word nerdy. I don't I don't know what word to use to describe him, but he's not as down. I'll say that he's not as down as the other men that she has allowed into her life and into her circle. I like them together. I enjoyed seeing Keisha smile, dance, and have fun like any other 18, 19-year-old should be having. I love their scenes. I love that, when they went to the spoken word event and she began to have a panic attack. And when she went outside to get air, I love how he asked, "Is it okay if I hug you?" And I think he's on everything he can to make sure that Keisha feels safe and comfortable with him. And for her to tell him, "I trust you," that was huge. That was huge. I was like, all right, like Keisha really, she really likes him. And I just hope that he's a great presence in her life. So as their date ended, we see him, he took her back home and it was raining. So it was kind of like the last scene in Love Jones where Lorenz and Nia were kissing in the rain. I thought that was a nice scene. I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for them. I'm like, Christian, don't make me stab you because I like you. Don't hurt my dog. Don't hurt her. So let's go to Kevin. Now, Kevin was acting mad thirsty when it came to Lene. I think that's her name, Lene. So Keisha catches him as he is leaving Lene another voicemail just in case she didn't get the first one. I'm like, little boy, she got your first voicemail. Hang that phone up. But he tells Keisha that he's trying to get out of the friend zone, which Keisha think, he trying to use Lene to get over Gemma. So he proceeds to ask Keisha between him and Jake, who would she pick? And he was like, he told her to pretend that he wasn't her brother. She was like, I can't do that. So Kev was convinced that she would choose Jake because girls like bad boys. And Keisha was letting him know that every girl doesn't like bad boys. But he challenges that. And he talks about, well, why won't you give the corny dude at your job a chance? And I'm like, well, Kev got a point there. Okay. So Kev and Papa meet up at the restaurant to give Emmett relationship advice. And I will say, this part of the show confused the hell out of me because Emmett is a fully grown ass man and he's asking a little boy for relationship advice. I know Papa is sweet and all that, but at the end of the day, Papa is a child who cannot help him with the type of issues he's having with his wife. So Kevin then asked, should he get Gemma back? Papa was like, that's a lost cause, G. And Emmett was like, yeah, man, fight for your girl. And I was like, I think you need to listen to Papa, Kevin. Listen to Papa. I mean, why you want a homie hopper anyway? Cause that's what you said, right? She a homie hopper. So why you want that back, Kevin? But anyway, so Kevin asked in a fight, who are they picking, him or Jake? Papa was like, I don't condone violence. And so it's clear that Kevin is trying to seek some type of validation from anyone, whether it's if he fight Jake, who gonna win, whether or not, I guess, based on looks, who would a woman choose, all of those things. And it's sad, because he does not feel validated. And I can see how losing your girl to your friend would cause those insecurities. And then you've met another girl in Lene who he is attracted to or who wants to get to know better. And she almost like immediately put Kev in the friend zone. So, we're going to see what happened with that. But I can't understand his zest for someone to just pick him and choose him. And the whole thing with Jake and Gemma, that it does have a lot to do with it. So he runs up on Gemma, and I laughed because I thought this part was so funny. First off, Kevin was like, I love you. And he grabbed her and pulled her in. Gemma's response had me rolling. She was like, okay. Okay, and so I do like what she said to him, even though it was a little harsh, but it was the truth. And so she told him that, she has the right to leave him, even if it's messy, and it was, and for that she apologized. And I just feel like at this point, I think that Gemma has done enough apologizing. The deed has been done. There's nothing that she could do to change it. It is what it is. I mean, that may sound harsh too, but I don't believe that she needs to keep apologizing every time she sees Kev. And she apologized twice in this one episode. So I was like, I think the apologies are we're good on the apologies because it doesn't change anything. You did something, you hurt him. You're apologizing for him being hurt for the decision that you made, but you're not going to change your decision because you're not leaving Jake and Jake is not leaving you. So that's pretty much, sometimes I'd be like, man, you keep your apology because it doesn't mean anything. So now before I get over this scene, now I know it was hot as hell in Chicago. And they made that little girl, well, she's grown, but they made that little girl wear some white stockings. And Lena, y'all wrong for that. I said, what in the Monica before you walk out my life is this? Why she got on them white shoes and these white stockings? But I'm gonna let that go because Jim, I'm a girl. I ain't gonna get on it too hard. But I'm mad y'all did that. I just had to point that out. So Papa throws a party for Maisha. And, he goes over to see her. He's basically giving her, some encouraging words. He's calling her queen, so on and so forth. She was basically saying that she didn't feel like that all the time, especially now since, she has these viral videos. She's been featured in this magazine. She's getting a lot of attention, and some of the attention is not positive. So she's getting these crazy comments under her pictures, under her videos. I'm like, people are just so trash. People are just so trash ass. And it just goes to show it don't matter if you're an adult or a child. You have so many people who are so bold behind a damn computer or their phone, but won't say shit to you into your face. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But, Papa misses her. He wants her back, but she makes it very clear that she needs her space. So, he basically was telling Kev, hey, I need your help. I got an idea. Because this little boy trying to win his woman back. And so he sets up this party, and basically it's for he get this fog machine, which was too much. First of all, why the hell his daddy let him throw the party at the church? I said, you know what? But I forgot his daddy already shiesty. I said, what in all the hell is going on here? But anyway, we get to the party. You have the party. So back to for a brief moment, Kevin and Gemma. He asked her to meet him at the party, and she was just like, I'm not an accessory. And so in my mind, I'm like, Kevin, what's going on in your head that you think that Gemma is going to show up to a party without Jake? So we get to the party, and, everything is going on. Maisha dancing. She having a good time. She was dancing with this little cute little boy having a good time. And, Kevin was like, who that is, dancing with your woman? So Papa goes to get some straightening. Ain't nothing but a little bit of straightening. And so he was going to get some straightening. And, Maisha was like, hey, if this is for me, then let me enjoy it. So Gemma walks in. Kevin got a big old smile on his face. A couple of seconds later, here comes Jake. And that smile quickly faded. And I'm like, yeah, bro. I don't know what hope you was having, Kevin, but it wasn't going to work. So Kevin grabs this girl, and he's dancing with her, basically trying to make Gemma jealous, and he succeeded. And, so she just keep looking over there. So so Jake was like, what you keep looking over there for? I'm not looking where? I said, Helfer, you know what the hell he talking about. And he was like, why you keep looking over there at Kevin, that girl? And, Jake is smart. I think he knows that, maybe Gemma holds a greater amount of guilt than he does with that situation. Because as she stated, Kevin was her first love, and Kevin was also the first guy she had sex with. So that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. And they're young as hell. They shouldn't be having sex anyway. But that is what it is. But when Gemma went to go talk to Kevin, she was like, where's your girl? I said, why we do that? That happens even as adult women. We're like, oh, so where that chick you was talking to? Or who that chick you was talking to? Where's she at? Man, I ain't talking to that girl, man. I said, wow, this is like deja vu. But anyway, he was like, we were just dancing. And so she admitted that she was jealous, and that, Kevin was jealous as well. And they, kind of came to some type of just solace between them, or some type of peace. Like, it may be always weird to see your first love with somebody else. And she was like, I know how hard it must be for you to see me with Jake. And, and then Jake ended up apologizing. I think he could have did a little bit better than what he did, but what can we do? This is Jake. But, he apologized, and Kevin was just like, I just don't, I don't want her to get hurt. And he was like, oh, I'm not going to hurt her. And I think that, so, they came to their bro moment or whatever. And I think that that's just the hard thing. Like I made mention, like, I have been in a situation like that, but it wasn't no sex involved with either, with any party. I just don't know how that would have been if, my friend had lost her virginity to the dude I was kind of somewhat sneaking with, and then we started dating. I don't know if I could have did that. Like, to know that my friend has had sex with you, and now I don't know. I don't know about that, but I think that there was such a huge thing around Jake when it came to Gemma. And so for me, I've always felt that Jake has genuinely liked Gemma, and he genuinely has feelings for her. And I think we have been able to see a true depiction of that in these last couple episodes. That even though he may, play hard or whatever, but when it comes to her, he's willing to go above and beyond to make her happy, or above and beyond to show how much he really does care about her. And so earlier there was a scene with Jake and Trig. So he comes in, and basically I guess Jake is trying to get a car, and Trig wants him to work for it. And so he was like, "Did you work hard for your car?" He was like, "Nah, I stole that motherfucker." I said, "Oh my God." But he was like, he don't want Jake to be like him. He want Jake to be better than him. And so Jake was like, "Look, I ain't trying to stunt. I just want to treat Gemma right." And he was like, "Oh, you want to treat Gemma right? You ain't treat Kev right." And I was like, "Damn, yeah, you got a point." And I see a lot of comments. And so, what y'all want these kids to do? I'm just like, I have seen people go so hard on Jake and Gemma, and the other craziness that's going on within the show as a whole with Dre and Nina. I'm like, y'all ain't going this hard for this married woman who just committed adultery, but for these little kids, y'all going in. And it's funny. I ain't gonna laugh. I do laugh at some of the stuff because it is funny. I'm like, damn, wow, calm down. But I was glad that Jake did say that, because it was needed to me to come from an authoritative person, because I know in my situation with, I'm dating, the ex of my friend, and me and my mom had a conversation about that. Like, you have to deal with the consequences of your decision, whether she don't want to be your friend again, whether she doesn't want to talk to you. You have to give her space. But it was a different perspective hearing my mom tell me. She didn't say I was wrong. She didn't say I was foul, but she did put me in the position, like, you made a decision that could hurt somebody, or that did hurt someone. Now, what are you going to do with that? And I was like, Jake, hell, I'm not giving my man up. I'll apologize, but I'm not doing that. So I think and that's why I think I identify with this particular storyline so well, because it's a reality. And that's why I be like, what high schools y'all went to? When they be like, kids weren't doing all this when I went to school. And I'm like, what the? High school ain't nothing but drama. High school is nothing but learning and making mistakes and making errors and jacking up and learning that you do not do this to people. Your personality is coming out. So I'm like, this was all in my high school. The stories I could tell. But yeah, so I'm like, but I'm glad Trig did say something about what Jake did, and he needs to be held accountable for what he did, and he needs to sincerely apologize to his friend for what he did, even if Kevin has not been the best friend to him, simply because of his actions. He did, I believe he did owe Kevin an apology. But yeah, this episode was really good. I saw a lot of people, hating on it, but I loved it. I love the scene. I loved everything about it. I love how even they incorporated Love Jones with the kids' storyline as well. They were not left out of that. And I did enjoy that. And I did enjoy the conversation Maisha had with Papa after everything was said and done. And I love Papa. And I think Papa is so sweet. But Papa is a little boy. And sometimes Papa comes off as overbearing. He do too much. He needs to just calm down, relax, and I hope we see that happen, because, a woman doesn't want you to fix everything all the time. A woman doesn't want you to correct everything all the time. We have to go through our own stuff as well. So, yeah, great episode all around. I loved it. This has been a great season. Some people have said they didn't like this season, whatever. I don't get it. I think it's well executed, well written. I loved it. I had someone ask me about the whole thing. This is jumping to the week prior, about how did Keisha get her baby back when you let somebody adopt your child. You don't have access. You don't have any rights. That's not true. It depends on the type of adoption that you did. It just depends, because who knows? We don't even know if they even did it legally when it comes to, hey, this is the type of adoption that we're having. We don't know because that wasn't shown on the show. But it is possible, because there is a window that you could get your baby back. So it is possible. It is not make-believe. It is not something that the writers of the Chi just casually pulled out of their asses. It's definitely a real thing. It's a real thing. So just to answer that question and put that out there for those who are, speaking and don't really know the ins and outs of adoption. But just research it. But that concludes my review for the Chi. I will see y'all next week. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week, and stay blessed and be blessed and no stress. Until next time, one.